Hi everyone, welcome back to our Elden Ring 100% walkthrough where we're playing as a mage in 2026. I think this is episode 17. We completed our invasions, so we're headed back to the Rose Church to talk to Vare.
Oh, Lambkin, so pleased you're here. I'm glad that you're enjoying my gift. I knew it from the very start. You have a taste for noble blood. I wish to anoint you a proper inductee, a knight to serve Luminary Mohg, the Lord of Blood, and establish a new dynasty. Luminary Mohg has strength, vision, and of course, love. So, what do you say, my lambkin? Yes. Who would have it any other way? Now, take this for your final trial. Soak the cloth with a maiden's blood. Normally, this ritual would involve killing one's own maiden and recanting the wisdom of the two fingers. But since you are maidenless, the blood of anyone's maiden will do.
So there are a couple of maidens you could use. One is up over kind of here, but we're going to take advantage of the fact that we unlocked the four Belfries Grace already. So we're actually going to travel over there to the four Belfries. And if you remember, there are three belfries. Each one requires an imbued sword key to activate. We have one currently. So the very first one that we come to is the Precipice of Anticipation. And that is the one that we want to use. So we're going to head down over here, and this will teleport us back to where we started the game, the Chapel of Anticipation, because remember, our maiden is there dead. So we can soak the cloth there. So now we can fight the Grafted Scion that killed us. This is like a revenge tour. Gonna go in and beat him up, and we'll get his sword and his shield. If you remember, there was a door that was closed that we showed in episode 1. That door is now open, so we can go through here. We can collect Stormhawk Dean and the Stormhawk Ashes. We're going to give these to Nephili later, the Stormhawk King, I mean. You can see that. And then the one we can get, the version we can get, is just around the corner here in a chest. And this is the Stormhawk Dean, and this is a pretty good summon, actually. And then here we can soak our cloth in the maiden's blood, and then we can take this back to Vare.
Ah, my lambkin, you've completed your final trial, and with this, you are a formal inductee, a knight who will assist Luminary Mohg, the Lord of Blood, in the establishment of a new dynasty. Now, give me your finger. This noble blood will be an immutable badge of honor once it settles inside of you. Oh, good heavens. Clench your teeth or something. Never forget that feeling of agony, for it is what binds you to Luminary Mohg.
Notice how our eyes are now glowing. You can remove that at Round Table Hold in Fia's room if you don't like eye alterations.
Sleep, my lambkin. Oh, another thing. You should have this. A medal granted by the new Mohgwyn dynasty, with the power to grant audience with Luminary Mohg. I've gone out of my way to provide one to you, but you mustn't use it just yet. The meeting must wait until the Mohgwyn dynasty commences. Luminary Mohg yet slumbers beside the divinity. We must endure a little longer. Ah, it is trying, but we must be patient. One day you will be elevated, deservedly, basking in love. Right, my lambkin?
Now we're not patient at all, so
One day you will rise.
we're going to actually go ahead and use this. Teleport to Mohgwyn Palace, another underground area. So we're going to do a scary run now. You just want to run, because we're going to get to our grace. There's a little loot so we can pick up on the way, but we're not going to be too crazy about it. There's some caves on the left, but we want to come back to those after we get the grace, just to ensure that we're okay. Because that way if we die, we've unlocked the grace that has the rune farm. And this farm is really, really good, and we'll show you how it works once we get up there. See, that's one of the caves that has stuff in it. We'll come back for it later. We'll get that glowworm later too. For now, we're gonna head up. That's another cave with stuff in it. So yeah, just right at the top here, past all these guys, and these are all worth a lot of runes, like 2,000 each. So they're just great farming, and they're good for testing weapons and builds and stuff. But the rune farm that's going to be fastest for us right now is off the ledge here, so I'm going to show that. There's basically a bird that's kind of over the ledge here. First, we'll show you how hard these guys are. Very easy to kill. You can see that. Even with just a little more int, we'll two-shot them instead of three-shotting them. And you see that was 2,000 runes. And now you can see there's a bird. This thing is worth about 11,000 runes. Sometimes it won't go off the edge. Like, when it gets hit, normally it'll run right off the edge, but sometimes it'll see you and it'll kind of stay at the edge, and then you just have to reset. So it did decide to do that this time. Let's see if we can get it to run off, but we might have to reset here. Yeah. There it goes. And that's 11k runes. So we're just going to do that for a while. I'm going to do that off camera and get to about level 80 probably. You don't have to do that much farming though. The reason I'm gaining a bunch of levels is I want to meet all the stat requirements for the strength and dexterity. So that's a lot of extra stats that you probably don't care about, but I want this walkthrough to kind of be a sampling of all the different intelligence weapons that are available to you, so you can pick which one you really like. And so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure my stats are good enough without any great rune equipped, no Radagon Source Seal equipped, you know, in order to be able to do that. So I'm going to leave, come back, and then I'll be substantially higher level, probably level 80 or so. I also wanted to put some points in Vigor up to 30 and probably Mind and Endurance a little bit more too. So yeah, we'll return momentarily and I'll be way more powerful, like magic. Alright, so we're back and I am in fact now level 80. You can look, I have Vigor 35. Oh, keep in mind I have 5 extra points from the Godric rune, so it's really Vigor 30, Mind 23, Endurance 13, Strength 16 for Darkmoon Greatsword, Dex of 20, which is a little higher than I need. Technically I could leave it at 18, but more Dex doesn't hurt with all these Dex int weapons. And then Intelligence I got to 33. And Faith we may eventually put enough points in to be able to do Golden Vow. But we need 10 more points of that, which I don't think is worth it right now, especially since we have the dagger that we can use for that for now. So yeah, that's and again to emphasize, you don't have to do this. You don't have to get this high level. I have wasted a lot of points. Like, I mean, I spent like a huge number of points in strength, for example, that you probably don't even care about. But I'm doing that just so that I can show you like the Death's Poker, which needs a strength of 15, and the Darkmoon Greatsword, which needs a strength of 16. So if you don't care about, you know, you can always respec later if you decide you want to use those weapons. So now we can go down and explore into those caves and get the loot. There's an Ash of War Blood Tax in one cave, there's a Somber 9, and then there's a Swarm of Flies incantation, which kind of leaves this bloody mist. But it does require a lot of arcane, so we can't cast it. But that's what we're going to go get. So now we're headed over to the Purified ruins to talk to Hyetta, and we're gonna get another Shabiri grape. We're gonna give her a Shabiri grape and get another one because remember we got one from the Revenger's shack. And then there's also a Two Fingers heirloom here, which boosts your faith.
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabiri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage, in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. You're not like the others who give me grapes, are you? They rest their trembling hands upon me, howling wordlessly. They gently stroke my eyes, their frail fingers, emaciated. Yet still, they give me the grapes. But you seem somehow firmer. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you. You are most kind. May the blessing...
So we're gonna run up here and get a Starlight Shard real quick. It's kind of off on its own, so I'm just gonna make the trip up there and get it. And then from there, we're gonna warp back to the Grace and head to Cliff Bottom Catacombs. So we want to put barricade shield on our shield because in this catacombs are omen enemies and they're very powerful and you need to up the hardness of your shield in order to be able to guard counter them. If you can guard counter them, they become a lot easier. This is kind of a big catacombs with a lot of these enemies, so you have an attrition problem where you run out of heals if you don't do this. So we're going to make sure we have barricade shield and we're just going to play guard counter style. We're not even going to worry about our Ash of War, our transient moonlight or whatever. So there's a little bit of loot, like there's a smithing stone all the way down at the end, so we're going to go all the way down and get it. I think it's a Somber 2, and then we're going to turn around and come back and go into the catacombs. Alright, we do want to get that glowfort. Oh, unfortunate. Unfortunate. Okay. We'll have to pull the elevator back down and then get it. I'm going to equip the heals on crits since we're playing a guard counter build and we're going to be constantly posture breaking these enemies. We might as well get heals. So here's one of these enemies. You can sneak up on a lot of them. But yeah, you want to try to barricade shield. So here I've put it up. Oh, but the grab, if you, yeah, unfortunate. So the grab is the one thing, you can't just block that, you have to get out of its way. But now watch, he bounced off. So you can use the trap to kill the one kind of up here. He'll come around the corner and then you can get on the trap square and get him. Oh, this is a nice drop. This actually gives you intelligence. Now, I don't want to walk around with a cat head. I like to be able to see my character, but just to show it, it does actually raise your intelligence. All right, so now we're going to head over to the tower over here, and well, we're going to get barricade shield off our shield. And what we'll probably do is put the barricade shield on our beast crest shield instead, and that way we have both shields as an option, so we don't have to two-hand the weapon like I did at the end of the catacombs there. Alright, so that's good. So now we're going to head over to the lookout tower after getting... There's the Lucerne weapon on the ground over here, so we're going to get that first. You can remember, see the messages on those. Oh yeah, actually before we go to the tower, we're going to go south because we need to get the tree spear. So we're going to head south first, get the tree spear. It's out in a wagon down here at the end. There's also a grace. So the tree spear's in here, and it has a Ash of War Sacred Order on it. We're going to get that in Altus Plateau later, but Sacred Order is really cool. It actually buffs your damage by 10%, but against undead enemies or like unholy enemies, it does 100% extra damage. And it works even if you put this on an offhand weapon. You do have to keep the weapon equipped, but that means it's really good for like power stancing. So like, one of the builds I'm probably going to mess around with is going to be probably Wing of Estelle and another curved sword to go with it. And you could put this on the offhand curved sword and it'll still buff wings damage, which is crazy. That's crazy good, right? So that's pretty cool. I think in practice you would bias more towards a cold offhand, when power stancing, for us to get frostbite because that's actually worth more damage. But against unholy, you would definitely want unholy enemies like deathbirds and skeletons. You definitely want Sacred Order. So. Alright, now we're going to get the Lucerne, and then we're going to head over to the tower that has the Carrying Glintblade staff in it. You can just stand here and these guys will die and you'll get runes, by the way. So, you could literally, like, if you can find a safe AFK spot, they'll just kill each other. So yeah, what we want to do here is probably pop our flask so we have an Opaline bubble so we can take a hit, because there's a sniper up top. And we're just going to try to run through. We might get hit 2 or 3 times, but it's not really worth stopping to kill any of this. Then we'll just get the Carrying Glintblade staff that's up here, and I think there's a cookbook up here too. So the staff is good for buffing things like Glintblade Phalanx, but you would typically put it in your offhand, basically. Remember that you can have a really powerful staff in your main hand, the staff you actually want to cast with, and then you could put something in your offhand like the Meteorite Staff if you're boosting Gravity Sorceries, or the Staff of Loss if you're boosting Night Sorceries, this staff if you're boosting Glintblade, etc. So that's how you typically use these special staves that buff a specific type of spell.
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabiri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage, in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. That aside, I wonder what Shabiri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold. No. That's not possible. Not all of those people. Their own... So those noises I heard were... Sorry. I'm alright now. Don't mind me. I've gleaned something very important indeed, thanks to you. The reason why it was eyes I had to eat, the distant light, is far and frail, so faint it can't be seen by the naked eye. But with everyone's eyes together, it appears. Finally, it all makes sense, I'm certain now. I will be a finger maiden. I've gleaned something, I'm certain now.
So this guy drops the Ash of War Ice Spear. And I'm busy just getting hit by everything. Not my best work. Well timed, well timed. Oh yeah, I finally rolled correctly. Now we can finish him off. So yeah, this gets you Ash of War Ice Spear. This is really good on the Clayman's Harpoon, which hopefully we'll get down in Siofra. You can farm it off of the guys there that have the harpoons, the Clayman. Just works really, really well. You can throw it on there. It's a nice ranged. It builds up Frostbite. And the Clayman's Harpoon. It just shreds things. It's really good. Alright, so now we're going to warp back to Leonia Highway North. And we're going to go fight a Tibia Mariner. And after that, we will head down to Jarburg, and I think that's where we'll stop. This crab doesn't really have anything. You can kill it for fun. I don't think I've killed a crab yet. So you can just see their moveset, or as much of any moveset as can be seen when you're spamming Transient Moonlight. But yeah, it doesn't really have any. Now I'm going to murder all the crab babies because I'm a bad person. Alright, but we can head back to the Tibia Mariner now. So that gets you the Death Root and the Skeletal Banded Ashes. And now we can head over to Jarburg. It's over that way. And then just to show, like, we can't get to it from here because you have to drop too low, but the Carrion Study Hall is what the building is here. We're going to visit it later on when we do Ronnie's quest line. We're going to hold off doing it until... You see people jumped to try to get there. You can't. But yeah, we're going to hold off and do this until... There's a thing you get where you invert the study hall and do it upside down. So we're just going to wait and do it back to back, both of them together. So now we're going to go over here and go down to Jarburg, which involves a little platforming down some of those gravestones that stick out. So it's over there. So over here is the Jar Baron, like kind of the steps, little Jar Boy. We'll talk to him after this. So we're going to stop here, and then next episode we will pick up in Jarburg and then start doing more of Eastern Liurnia. So until next time.